Okay, I just wanted to run through a few things about Iconz, what's been happening this year. We've been running now for 8.5 years. Yeah, I was a bit shocked. I don't know where that went, it just disappeared. Our current leadership at the moment is myself. I've got Tabitha Gorry, David Cooper, Nick Taylor, John Sonneveld, David Lowe was also involved. And I've got 3 junior leaders, who is Harry Cooper, Zachary Simons, my son, and Rocky Cummings also is involved with junior leaders. Just so you understand, the leaders are basically the ones who are police checked, have all the identification signed off, and all the formal leaders. I haven't mentioned a lot of the parents who just kick in and help, and particularly around the camp time. The junior leaders, as in Harry Cooper, Zachary Simons and Rocky Cummins, they're sort of the boys who are getting older, shall we say, and it's hard to cater for such a very wide range, because we go from 5-year-olds basically through to 11s, maybe 12s at the maximum. So we immediately start trying to put some of the older boys into a leadership role and get them to start organising with the boys, etc., and start sort of training them towards taking responsibility and running things. Over the last year, we started off around about actually 30 boys we've got here, but it was actually picked up to about 35. And that was just a nightmare. We were overwhelmed. We didn't know what to do. We were running around. We were equipping out the activities for about our normal 20 boys, which is a comfortable number. And so we lost. We surrendered and just went with the flow in the end. That's thinned out now. We've got about, now the last term, we're heading towards now, last night's actually on Monday. We've probably got around about 15. We've had a number of boys drop off over winter, which is quite normal because it's cold and wet and horrible, and I want to stay inside. But also some of the older boys we've lost mainly because I would say we're struggling to cater with such a wide range, and we've been having leadership issues over the year, which is one of the reasons I'm here, funnily enough. Activities we did a camp down in, because my pronunciation, I apologise, Awitu. Yep, a camp down there. That was on the 13th, 11th to 13th of March. We had about 45 to 48 people there, off memory, parents, boys, etc. But we had a lot of fun. We didn't set the camp on fire, but the boys made lots of fires. We did some swimming, we did activities, etc. It was all around good fun. We've done our fundraiser for the year. Every year we do fireworks, selling fireworks, etc. We do it in conjunction with a charity called the Kids Foundation, which deal with kids who are transplant kids and kids with immune deficiency. So we help man a container and we sell fireworks. People want to light these things and burn them all up, so why not have the money go towards us? We raised $1,800 this year, which was a little bit down, but we're not complaining. And that's going to head towards next year's camps. We try to subsidise the camps as much as possible so that pretty much everyone can come along. One of the big changes we're heading towards for next year is we're actually looking at changing nights and merging the nights with Girls Brigade. Why? Simple logistics. Number one is we've got parents that have got both boys and girls coming along, and we're asking them to drag their kids out Mondays and Wednesdays. Being a parent myself, I know what that's like, really, particularly in winter. It's horrible. So all through, both entities will be totally separate. They'll have running their own programs, own leaders, etc., etc. We also recognise the benefits of having a certain amount of crossover, because sometimes you turn up with 2 leaders and 30 boys. That nightmare scenario comes in. And it's the same with the Girls Brigade, just having, and there is some commonality, shall we say, because the camp we do every year, we're beginning to last 3 years, we've done it together. So we've merged the girls and boys together, and it's actually worked out really well. I'll admit I was a little bit wondering if it would work, but it's gone really, really well. And the boys and the girls get on well. They're still doing with their leaders, our leaders, and separate when they have to be. But it's worked out really well, and we'll be sending out more information about that. And from a safety perspective and all that, there's just so many benefits. So we're heading on that. So why did we do Iconz? fundamentally, it's leading the boys in behaviour. If you wanted to call it Iconz anything, it's as a leader or as a participant, a parent, you're showing through example what it's like to be Christian, what it's like to run things, and how to behave. Because we get all sorts of different boys. We've got Christian families coming along and non-Christian families coming along. Funnily enough, the Christian boys are a little bit more of a handful because they know you. The other boys, they're scared of me. They look up and go, ugh. But they settle in. It's all good fun. It's basically to encourage them through example. Have fun, enjoy themselves, but actually come as a group into a like-minded group of people or boys or associations. This is why we've got youth group. This is why we've got the Iconz for Junior and Girls Brigade. It's to associate our kids with like-minded families and or a program that you know isn't secular, is Christian-based. Okay? Me as a father, I worry about my kids, particularly as they get older, because who are they associating with? What influence are they going to get out in the outside world? And that's why we do it. That's why the church runs Iconz, and that's why it's got a youth group, and that's why it's got all of this sort of thing running. Doesn't make a difference. There's one thing I do know, and one thing I have learned, is that do we make a difference? No, we're just planting seeds. Eddie once told me this in home group years ago. What are we doing? We're planting seeds. Are we going to convert people? No. Maybe, if we're lucky, if we're privileged and honest enough, and we get that actual privilege. But a lot of what we're doing, we're just planting the seeds. And they will, in time, germinate. They might germinate in 3 months. They might germinate in 3 years. Or guess what? They might germinate in 30 years. We just don't know. So that's what Iconz is about, really. It's involving the kids and the families, because I've had times where people just need to talk, and it's just talking. Do I give advice? No, I'm pretty lousy at that. But I talk. Some of the boys will come down and they'll be angry, like you have not seen anger before. And what is that? What do I do with them? I walk. That field has got many laps on it, where we just walk and walk and walk and talk and listen. That's all it's all about. I'm looking for leaders. It boils down to I need leaders. In particular, I need 2 men. Because the reason I need leaders, basically, I've got 3 of my leaders going to be unavailable, really. Tabitha, David, and Harry Cooper as a junior leader. So I'm looking for 2 men. And I'm looking for 2 women. Because those who do come to Iconz and those parents who do deal with me will know one thing about Mr. Steve Simons. He is totally useless at administration and organising the paperwork, the money and everything else. I'm what you call a last-minute artist. There's my speech. I can't even read it. Do you need any special skills? No. Do you need to be great with kids? Well, at least don't scare them as good. But I'm doing it. And trust me, I personally think I'm the wrong person to be doing it. I'm a grumpy, terrible, in pain, body's falling apart person. I can't run around with the boys. Last time I tried running around, I ran into a concrete wall and just about broke both wrists. Didn't tell anyone, because I'm a stupid proud man too. Just got off the ground and said, "You right, Steve?" "Yeah." And went and quietly sat down in a corner. And then the next 6 months just thought, well, hey, I'm still pretty sore. But I've never played bull rush again. It's to help young men. Why? Because these boys are going to become young men. They're going to be the leaders of our church. They're going to be teenagers. They're going to go through challenges that you and I have been through, or what we think have been through, but these guys have got a lot more to deal with out there in the outside world. Why? Because it communicates so much more efficiently than when we were growing up as teenagers. It's to show them how the Lord can be part of your life and still have fun. It's to plant seeds. It's so that you can be a kid yourself. Have a bit of fun. We shoot guns, we do bow and arrows, we blow up bottle rockets, we put holes in the school, we try to take out one of the elders' cars. Trust me, I was panicking when that bottle rocket torpedoed Warren's car. Fortunately, it didn't do any damage, Warren. Or you're very graceful and haven't mentioned it still. Basically, we're showing the Lord to the kids and we're showing the Lord to the parents. Okay? Just to watch as a role model. It's been there to support, encourage, listen, advise, but there's not too much of the advice, thank goodness. And because we've got church and non-church people coming. So what I'm asking you in closing is basically I'm looking for leaders, in all seriousness. Young man, older man, preferably one that can run better than me. Ladies, I need two. If you can't do it full time, that's fine. 2 part-times would be fine as well. What I need is to meet and greet the parents. I have got parents who drop their kids off and don't even know that we're there. And I assure you that scares me. Okay? We want to put in place sign-in sheets. Get my database so that I can actually communicate better because I crashed my computer and lost all of that. And the last 6 months has been a disaster. We need somebody who does more than me and goes up and says, that hurt? Come on, get up, you'll be fine. Sometimes they need a little bit more than that, okay? They need a mother figure, they need somebody to cuddle them and say, hey, it's okay. I don't do that. And none of my male leaders will do that, okay? So in closing, I thank you all for your prayers. I know there are many of you out there who pray for us. I know there are many of you out there who are praying for the boys. And I encourage you, if you're looking for something, if you want to make a difference in someone's life, this is why you do Iconz. This is why you do the ministry out there. And there's ministries in this church that need you. There's youth group, Girls Brigade, Iconz, and others that I'm probably going to forget and upset people for not mentioning. But if you see a need in the church, why did I start Iconz in this church? Because I saw a need. Because I had a young son coming up, and as a parent, I'm always the first to go, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong. Now Peter's getting fidgety. This is wrong, that's wrong. You know, guys, we get out there and do something about it. We're the first to say the world's falling apart. We're probably the last to get out there and actually do something about it. I'm not asking you to fix the world, I'm just asking you to volunteer one evening a night to come and help. People, thank you very much.